Hello everyone, welcome back to Fanblade. It's Monday, still Monday morning, and today the government is going to make an announcement this afternoon about what's happening with our lockdown situation, whether we're going to remain in level 4 or whether they're going to lift it later on in the week. Um, I have to assume they're going to lift it, and so I have to assume that I have to get these things finished. Now, I'm not 100% happy with the oil finish on here. It hasn't quite filled the grain. It's not quite like I can still feel wood grain. It's not exactly the feeling that I'm looking for on the necks. So I'm going to take what I've learned about superglue, specifically the new stuff that's new formula, fastest and strongest in the world. And what I know about that is that I can rub that in, and by the time I've done 2 necks, 3 necks, 4 necks, the first one will be ready for a second coat, and I can just cycle through them, and I can get this done pretty much in a couple of hours. And then they'll be completely exactly the way I want them, and I'm looking forward to that. I also have to say that the short scale guitar, if you'll recall, when I put the original finish on the fretboard, I was expecting a different type of superglue and a different type of reaction, but what happened was that the whole thing just went on hard, solid, glued my initial slots shut, and cutting the actual slots became very difficult for me. So what's happened with this neck is that the 11th fret is just on a slight angle, just tilting that way. The first fret is cocked back that way. So I can't realistically give this to anyone to learn on because you can't even play an open E chord on it and expect it to be in tune. So it is with no small degree of sadness that I have to say that the short scale guitar is now going to be exiting this series. The body for it was originally designed to be a mandolin, and it will revert back to being a mandolin at some point in the future. Look out for that video, or maybe there'll be a couple of videos coming up in the future. But for now, we say goodbye to this one. Right, let's finish these necks. I've sanded all of these out, and I did a little bit more sanding on the back of that headstock because I wasn't really happy with it. Also given them a coat of wax and grease remover just to get rid of any residue and make sure they're thoroughly clean, because now any marks that are on these surfaces are going to get sealed in pretty much permanently. So they are all clean, they are all very much ready to go. Towel protector, neck, and PPE, of course, respirator, gloves, goggles. Yeah, I think I'm ready to go. I think I'm ready to do this. just to give you an indication of how fast this stuff sets, these cloths that I'm using are so hard. This is after like maybe 7 or 8 minutes. They're so hard that they break. I can break that in half. It's just crazy. Yeah. Good hard finish that. 3 more coats then. I was just going to plough ahead. Every instinct in my body was telling me that I should let that settle and fit and cure properly. I was just going, no, don't have to, it's fast setting. But then I have noticed the white residue has started to appear. So I am just going to go with my instincts and let that cure for half an hour. And then I'll do another 2 coats. Like, it's looking good. Like, that's just going to polish up a treat. They had about 3 coats, and then I gave them half an hour to dry, and then I gave them another 3, and now they've had about another hour. And I came back to check on them, and the grain's 95% filled. I don't think I need to do any more on that. I hit this one with some 1200 just to see what it did, and it's come up beautiful. That's exactly the feel that I wanted, just silky smooth. It's a satin finish. It's not a high gloss finish, but like I can't feel any of the grain, and it just feels really, really nice in the hand. So yeah, I just hit these with some 1200, and then they're done. I'm very happy with that. I'm very happy with that. I'm very happy with this one, and I'm extra pleased with this one. I think this one might actually be my favourite neck that I've ever made. It's a good thing it's going on my base. And there it is, behold the wondrous beauty that is 3 absolutely completed necks, except for one tiny detail. I haven't put any finish on the ends, but that's just in case I need to sand a little bit, just to get a proper fit in the neck pocket. It's easier to sand off here than it is to sand out of the end of the neck pocket. So I'll leave those unfinished for now. But, of course, we will finish them when the time comes. Also, there's some little sharp edges and things which we will take off, again, when the time comes and we know exactly how much to take off. In the meantime, I need to mark out some neck pockets. Really, all I need to do is make sure that the centre line of that end of the neck matches, straight down here. And in order to make the strings line up when the strings go on the neck, we use string. Now, as you can see, I've got the string going in a dead straight line, all the way up. I've got the centre point marked on the neck down here, and of course the centre point of the body is clearly visible. Now, if it weren't right, then this is the sort of thing you see. The string's going in a straight line, the string is not in the centre of the neck, and that's not perfectly lined up either. So we'll line that back up. Now, there is some give with the string. So, if you move it around a little bit, it might not spring back to exactly where it is. But with a little bit of playing around, you can get it pretty much exactly where you want it. Alright, that is neck pockets marked out and ready for carving tomorrow. There's been the announcement from the New Zealand government about our lockdown status, and we are staying in lockdown for one more week. I've got another 7 days starting tomorrow morning, so this should be ample time to carve neck pockets, carve pickup cavities, carve control cavities, sand, probably finish with superglue, because let's face it, it's easy and I've got heaps of it. The only thing I don't really have is strings to put on these guitars once they're done, so I'll have to see what I can track down about that. But we're looking good. The series is going to continue for one more week, and hopefully we can get some finished instruments, and we can all learn a lot more stuff along the way. Thank you for sticking with me this far, thank you for hitting subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow.